You might pick out one or two empty seats, but that's because they're all crowding towards the front of the stands as well to get the best view possible. There's the Papua New Guinean team. Hopefully you've seen that back home. Alex Johnston, the fullback from South. David Mead, the Catalan three-quarter, of course. One or two championship players. Stargrot Amian, of course. Barrow fans will be jumping up and down at his inclusion in this side. So a mixture there of some familiar faces and less familiar faces. They had a terrific game against Fiji last week. They'll fancy their chances. Great Britain lining up like that, unchanged, starting at 13. And on the bench, George Williams gets his first chance of this tour. And Joe Philbin is back from injury as well. So those are the two changes on the field. Gareth Widdop about to get us underway. It's not over hot here at the moment. Earlier on, about 3 or 4 hours ago, it was absolutely scorching, but it's 5:30 local time in the evening. It has cooled considerably, but the humidity is intense. They're going to have to take on liquids as often as possible throughout this game. So 3 matches played, 3 defeats. Is this going to be the day that the resurrected Great Britain Rugby League Lions get a win on the board? Widdop puts boots and ball high in the air. It will be first touch of the football, caught by Kyle Labert, the Townsville Black Hawks, and it's Papua New Guinea who start in possession here. And we've got an injury here to James Graham. And Luke Page is being congratulated for the smashing hit he's just put on the Great Britain captain. Well, he's a shoulder in there and he's left Graham tasting a little bit of the soil. Justin Morgan, Brian Noble with us. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, it's all about the start, and you can't complain about the start from New Guinea there. Clash of, I think it's James Graham on the floor there, and I think the Lions are trying to take away the Cummel start in relation to any kind of enthusiasm that this crowd might give them. So stop-start affair here after Zackle won just.
Yeah, it's a very unique atmosphere. The crowd really behind their team when they came out for the warm-up. A huge roar collectively from the entire crowd. There is some concern here for James Graham, who's taken a knock to the head there. I really like the inclusion of George Williams on the bench from Wayne Bennett. I've been looking forward to seeing him play so far on this tour, so I think he could certainly add some spark off the bench.
Well, there's a bit of medical attention here for James Graham. He's looking a little dazed and confused, and I think he's coming off for the head check. He is. So that is a disappointing start from Great Britain's point of view.
He doesn't look too flushed, does he?
No.
I'd be very surprised if he came back on the field. Obviously, there's a lot of those protocols now, so I'd be very surprised if he passes the HIA.
Chris Brooks, the medical man down with him, Professor Chris Brooks. So much experience on the international stage. So Papua New Guinea get to start again, and this big crowd in here today. The Oil Search Stadium, the national stadium in Port Moresby. They could have sold it out 3 or 4 times, we're told. We're also told that all around this nation there'll be villages and towns coming to a standstill right now. Villagers trekking into towns to crowd round TV sets to watch their local heroes. 23 years in the waiting for Great Britain to come back to town. And it's the Cummels who are enjoying this early possession, and here's another hit by Page. The big prop forward from the Burleigh Bears. Fans of a Sun vintage will remember that name with a bit of a shiver down the spine. Andy Goodway. 99 team came down here and got a bit of a shake-up from the Burleigh Bears in a warm-up match before the tour began. Lomax with the offload, that's good. Taken on by Austin, and he's swung around by 2 or 3 defenders here.
Well, this is where we're going to get an indication of what the Cummels want to do. They're going to fly forward defensively.
Hudson out of dummy half. McGilvray is going to have a first job here. Nixon Putt from the North Devils gets his shoulder in as well. And Great Britain up towards the halfway line. Hodgson now picks it up and goes to that right-hand side, and Burgess with a carry. They're being made to work hard here. They've still got a couple of tackles in the tank, though. Fresh onto the field, Luke Thompson, because of that early injury to James Graham. Back with Widdup, who switches back to the inside where he's seen a bit of something. He puts the kick in, but Johnson's there with an easy pickup and relieves the pressure.
I think completion rate's really important for Great Britain tonight. I think they can't give any free possession to the Kumuls because there's a first penalty in the game there for Marcus not being square. I think it's really important that they get into the grind nice and early here, Great Britain, and make sure their completion rate's nice and high.
Yeah, I think they can take the game away at the start of this game if they can complete some sets, get down to the right end of the field, have a kicking strategy that was probably missing last week. We see Widdup was chased down there in relation to his final play, and then you have to be squeaky clean. And I think the longer it goes, when there's no score on the board or there's no pressure created, I think the more the Kumuls come into the game. I think the Lions can take this game away from them early.
Hope you watched the women's game a little early, the England women. There's Dan Russell from the Cowboys up just beyond the halfway line. England women against the Papua New Guinean Orchids. The Orchids won it 2016 with a last-second try. But the atmosphere in here was electric when that score went in. Martin to his feet. Now it comes right to Page again. 35 away from where they want to be. Great Britain under a little bit of pressure here, just at the moment. Move left by Watson Boas, and Johnson's involved. The ball's been dropped, and Great Britain will breathe a sigh of relief here. They get possession back again.
Yeah, nice ball movement there from the Kumuls out to the edges, but I thought that right edge from Great Britain, nice and solid defensively. Just deciding who gets the scrum feed here, whether it was a forward pass from the Kumuls, I should say. No,
they got a result here.
Yeah.
He's adjudicating that the Lions player's got a touch on the ball and it's gone forward. So a great field position to start for these Kumuls. Scrum on the 20 metres going in. Every time anybody carries the ball around here, you listen to that noise level go up.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Grant Atkins is the referee here today, by the way. Head and feed for Papua New Guinea. Boas will stick it in and out it comes. Labour helping it on, and into the line comes Johnson. So here's a threat for Great Britain in these early stages. 5 minutes played. Papua New Guinea's best field position so far. Russell now with a heavy carry. 10 away. Puara is the man at dummy half here, who plays his rugby league at Barrow, of course, and now it's with Johnson, who momentarily had one-on-one to try and get over the line, but
the possession. A lot of possession at the start of this game for the Kumuls.
This is tough labour on a difficult night in terms of the conditions. Russell takes it in. Danced around by those three British defenders. Here's Mead. Gillex missed the Fiji game last week, but back here tonight. Labour now out to Boas, and Boas will spring in his boots as he hit that line, but they've held on to him just about. Here's Puara waiting to deliver the bullets again. Reece Martin goes left. Johnson, and it's handling that doesn't quite fit the bill from PNG's point of view.
It was Olam that spilled it, wasn't it? They're having a look for sure. The Kumuls moving the ball around left and right, coast to coast, as they say. I think it's Olam that puts the ball down in the end. Yeah.
I like the look of both of their halves. You know, Boas is really explosive off the mark with his carries. Will play on the left-hand side for Papua New Guinea, and on the right they have Cole Labour, who had a really strong game last week in Christchurch.
Looking forward to watching Etienne Gebbie as well, aren't we? The winger from Wynnum Manly, the number 2. He's on the left wing, but he has just signed for Souths, for Wayne Bennett Souths, and he was talking him up, was Wayne, this week. He's got some talent, he says. He's got some speed. We saw that last week. That's Whitehead, who's put down and gets up and plays, and Hodgson picks up and collects, and here comes the standing winger, Blake Austin, who blasts it forward again. And they love it. They love it, the locals, the physicality of it all. Chris Hill now. Wrestled to the ground in no uncertain fashion. They might be giving a pound or two and an inch or two, but the Papua New Guineans are giving nothing in terms of attitude and commitment. Johnson brings it back, and the Kumuls start there.
Well, Johnson's a really experienced NRL player, and he's got some wheels himself. So he can connect with Gebby on the wing. They've got some serious threats in relation to pace.
Well, they've stolen the order too. Referee just says go back. Stagrot Amiens. So out they come again. It's a really heavy night. Close and hot, and it feels like something's going to break out before very long, either on the field or in the heavens above us. But it's Papua New Guinea who are bringing it forward at the moment. And here's Puwara to deliver back again. A little kick from Laybut, and Lomax has it measured. Well read. Laybut looks as though he's taken a knock as well there in back play. But Great Britain have it back. This is Austin. If you're wondering why the Great Britain players are wearing black armbands, it's not obvious, but you might just catch a glimpse that they're wearing black armbands. It's in memory of Dennis Hartley, the former Great Britain prop forward who sadly passed away this last week at the age of 83, one of the greats. A player in the 60s and 70s. Here's McGilvray with a chance to shine and run, and he's doing really well in doing that. Widdop carries on in support. Back it comes to Thompson. Thompson's got the footwork. They're claiming the obstruction all around the stands. Well, the referee says play on, and Great Britain have a bit of panache, a bit of purpose, and a bit of field position to work on the back of that too. Here's Hastings. Widdop's quick head. Delivered out to Blake Austin. Austin on the left wing brushes off the first attempt from Laybut. But there are two more waiting. So Britain poised, 5 out, but on the 5th. This is Hastings. Back to where it came from. Hodgson with a little dummy. But he's going to have to take the tackle, and Papua New Guinea start from there.
Yeah, good ball movement though, especially the first break down that right-hand side. Good movement from Widdop. Gilbray made the break, and then they came back the other side when they got in good field position. So nice ball movement from Great Britain.
Yeah, they're looking to shift, aren't they? They're looking to show the fact that they can get the ball into the halves and use people either side of those halves and expose. But you have to say that PNG scrambled really, really hard. Had to.
Yeah, they got back on side really well there, PNG.
There's the footnote on Dennis Hartley as well. He was part of the squad when Great Britain last won a test series in Australia, 1970. Johnny Whiteley, the coach, cites his inspiration for lifting the team after a first test defeat to go on and win the next two.
Here, hold, go for.
Wara switching it out. Laybut with a kick. Lomax is careful and considered and collects safely and will find the 40-metre mark at the very least. He'll also find the shoulder of Dan Russell.
A lot of work for the back three tonight. We've already mentioned the conditions, very humid. It's going to be hard for the middle forwards to get back on side at different stages. So the back three and their first carries really important.
Here's Hastings. Inside for Connor. And wide they go to Widdop and Bateman. And Bateman beyond the flailing arm of Watson Boas and keeps it alive out there. Hughes. And now it's Widdop again. And the referee says play on, and Widdop is riding the tackles and keeping Great Britain's momentum going forward. Here's Burgess with a few giant strides of his own. Now Hodgson to Hastings. Hastings with a mishap pass. Connor with a step back on the inside. Papua New Guinea putting in under real pressure here. And now the wide ball left to Austin. Has he got that down? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Well, I tell you what, Blake Austin has had some introduction to wing play in his life, hasn't he? Played for the first time last week, dropped the ball first. He's had 3 carries this evening where he got just bashed to smithereens. And now Johnny Lomax is trying to put him into the corner, and his feet are in touch, he's in touch. The winger does good there.
He got the ball down well enough, didn't he? It's in the wrong place, and that's what's wrong about it too.
Yeah, hit him offside there from PNG. They're really scrambling hard on their try line, and
so head and feet here for Papua New Guinea. It's the 9th test that these two have played, by the way, Great Britain and Papua New Guinea. Only one of those has resulted in a victory for the Kumals back in 1990. They call it the tear gas test up in Kuroka. Great Britain won a week later in Port Moresby by a distance.
Well, it takes a lot of juice out of the Kumals. That last 5-minute exchange, they've got 2 sets of the Lions and move the ball from either side, and it will take its toll for sure.
This is Page again. Showing no shortage of energy in the opening 12 minutes. An eagerness for the challenge. Reece Martin, such a great end of the season at Leeds, didn't he, Reece Martin?
Hold. Wait. Go forward.
Real settling influence, a real classy influence in what had been a pretty poor Leeds season up to that point. Huara waits, collects and delivers. And the kick from Labert, despite the pressure, just angles up here. Austin has to be careful, and is careful enough in the end.
I tell you, if you were to write a script for Blake Austin on every ball that's going to bounce away from you, you're going to get a try line opportunity.
I think he'd be dying to get back into the halves and have back rows running back at him.
He'd put him in the front row, he'd be happier.
Hughes down that middle channel, the centre. It's a good carry, that's a good one. 3 or 4 wraps around him, but he's sneaked a few extra metres after contact. This is Hastings now, and stepping in goes Whitehead and Lomax. And Lomax delivers to Connor, and Connor now comes searching back on the inside again. And there's a little more dynamism, isn't there? There's a little bit more expression being made by the British players so far. They have a penalty, but they seem to be approaching this game more positive than the previous 3 on this.
They certainly have. I think it's really important that they remain patient. You know, they've really moved the football in this first 14 minutes of the game, but they still need to remain positive. I think some of the issues in the previous games is that lack of pressure being built on opposition teams. So I like the decision to take the tap here.
Yeah, well, here's case in point. Last 2 tests against New Zealand, same position, same time of the game. They went for goal.
They did go for goal. There's a mind shift straight away.
Here's Hodgson. Burgess came flat, and he's occupying the attention of 2 defenders, Albert and Martin. Hodgson spins it left to Hastings. Back it comes, and Widdop's
there you go.
There you go. There you go. In the corner. Blake Austin with a dive in. The referee's having a look. A word of the touch judge, but the finger is pointed, and well done to Blake Austin. His first international try is as a winger in his 2nd appearance, but there was some good work to get it his way.
Yeah, it was really well executed, for sure. Johnny Lomax chiming into the line, and quick hands on the back of that gave him just at international level. Here you go, Hastings, Widdop, round to Jake Connor, gives him the opportunity to use his pace and his speed and dive into the corner.
Really like the play the ball from Tom Burgess as well. He got 3 or 4 defenders around him. The PNG line had to really tighten up.
Tell you what, that was close. I think the video referee had a look at that. We might have been sweating a little there. Left elbow perilously close to touching now before the ball.
The elbow was in touch.
Yeah, but he's given the try. Give it the try.
Can't take it. I like Lomax's involvement early on.
Yeah.
He didn't handle the ball necessarily on that play there, but his involvement down that left-hand side a couple of times. And he was present down there, and again, he's looked very likely when he's had the ball in hand each time.
Well, we're being told that James Graham has failed his head injury assessment, so will not be returning. So that's a blow straight away from Great Britain's point of view.
You're doing a good job.
Losing the skipper and losing a player of such inspiration. Here's Widdop with a kick from the touchline. He's not got the curl he was hoping for, so it remains 4-0. I wonder if Blake Austin's been practicing diving on his bed all week in anticipation of scoring a try like that.
Well, the loss of Graham is a blow. It means in these humid conditions.
We're hearing voices in our head. I'm not sure if you're hearing those as well back home. It's been like that for 4 weeks with Brian Noble. The voices in the head
I knew that was coming.
Won't go away. Well, that was definitely a Papua New Guinean voice. This now is taken on by Thompson. Well, he's capable of big minutes, isn't he, Luke Thompson?
Very capable.
We've seen that. Bateman ducking inside, wrapped up, and Watson Boas helping with the final moments of the tackle. Hill goes to Hastings, and Hastings tries to extricate himself from Russell and does a good job in handing on to Whitehead. And Whitehead's offload, and Britain again making a lot of movement forward, but certainly drawing a little petrol out of the Papua New Guinean tank with the offloads there. Hastings sticks it high. Johnson underneath. Safe catch. Good checks.
Yeah, not a bad finish from the Lions. Keep the pressure on, keep building the pressure. Bit of an off-ball game, expansive game. 2, 3, 4, 5 passes in a set of 6. We will definitely take the juice out of these enthusiastic Cummles.
This is the third tackle, which sees them just short of the 20. Another big effort required. This time from the centre, David Mead. He'll get up and play the ball as quickly as he possibly can. And on again from Luke Page. They like him. They like him. They've seen what he can do. He's already put the Great Britain captain out of action.
He's definitely a Route 1 player, isn't he?
Lomax catches off the bounce. A little bit of a broken chase, but by the time he gets there, they're all settled in line. Nowhere to go.
Great Britain forwards really struggling to get onside.
And what happens with this Cumhall crowd is that any time any of their players raise the ante and get the Richter scale up in relation to contact, they just all join in, and it gives them that energy to keep going. But this is the way forward. This guy will make a break.
Aye. Here's Hughes. Confidence about this Great Britain side that we've not seen so far. Certainly with ball in hand. Quickly played, Hodgson. Now with it with a little chip and chase again. That's 2 chip and chases we've seen already in this game. There's a revolution. Johnson catches. Papua New Guinea start 15 from their own line.
Started to win the field position, Great Britain. Now their last couple of kicks, they've ended up very close to the Cumhall's try line. So, yeah, started to win that territory advantage.
Yeah, long season, hasn't it? Started domestically back in January this year. It finishes here today. The international calendar finally coming to a close with this final test match for Great Britain here in Papua New Guinea. Meninga, Moses Meninga, disappointingly not related to the great man. It's named after him by a father who's a big rugby league fan. Lomax takes the catch. McGilvray wants a bit of the work to do here. Searching for the outside shoulder of Nixon Put. Hughes. Again, there are 3 British forwards all slowly getting back behind the play the ball. Before it comes left, Austin.
Straight up, back here. Hold, wait. Go 3.
Here's Burgess. Again, there's a challenge. Again, it's a decent carry. Finds his front, wants his knees quickly here, but he's impeded a little as he tries to get to his feet. Widdop now to Lomax, who chimes into line, and a sudden burst of energy and pace as well, and McGilvray cuts back towards the middle. Eventually dragged down by Boas, but look where Great Britain are. 1 play to go here. Bateman, on it comes to Hastings. Hastings looking for that in-goal area, making them work hard, and Amien gets down with a safe catch in the air.
Yeah, good finish to the set there. Apart from getting a repeat set of 6, next best result.
They're having to come out of yardage again here, Papua New Guinea. Having to do it the hard way. Great Britain turning up the heat. You can see mountains behind this stadium, and there are some big black clouds rolling over them at the moment. We hope the rains will stay away for the rest of the game. Here's Stanton Albert, younger brother of Wellington, the Leeds prop. The ball's been lost. Great Britain have a gift of possession. And here's Hill.
Well, this is a tough set now for the Cumhalls. They've given the ball away, and as Justin said, they've established some field position now. I reckon this goes through the hands. They're a threat, the Lions.
Another interchange made here. Alex Worms has just come scrambling onto the field in place of Tom Burgess as Great Britain find position A here. We're going to see Fielding coming on as well. In the meantime, Hodgson's going for him, going for glory himself, and I think he's found it. The referee again points, and Great Britain have their second try, and Hodgson has found a way over.
Well, that was just pressure on the line. We were queuing up and queuing up and queuing up on this left-hand side to Joe Hodgson's left, and he's seen the little opportunity down the shore side there. Late defender Meninga's laid back, and he takes him on and just beats him. Gets on his outside. It's Meninga that's late in the recovery. He can't get off the line far enough, and too good an opportunity for Josh Hodgson there.
Good first hit from both the front rows. I thought Hill and Burgess, who have just both been replaced. Really good stint, over 20 minutes in this humid conditions. Obviously, Coach wanted to stretch it out a little bit further, considering he had to make a change
Could I ask you a question?
after the first carry of the game, and he's asked his two big men to push out some extra minutes, and they've done that.
Thanks.
So
Keep doing what you're doing, boys.
big credit to the two props.
Well, this is much better from Great Britain, isn't it? I mean, no criticism of the way they've defended or the effort they've put in over the last 3 weeks, but their attackers lack flair. We've seen already in the opening 22 minutes here more than we've seen in the previous 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Widdop's taking the line on. Hastings is going out the line. The fact that they've got the ball in their hands means that the mentality has shifted a little bit to shift the ball and to spread this Cumul defence out to create some opportunities for themselves. That's what created the opportunity for Hodgson there.
Yeah, you're right. I really enjoy the shifting of the ball. You know, they've done it to both edges, both back rows and centres that carried the footy. You already mentioned Lomax chiming in a couple of times. So it's nice to see that they're playing with a nice level of confidence with the ball in hand.
So 10-0 as Widdop converts. 24 minutes have gone. I think we're having problems hearing you, Justin, at the moment.
Stay back in, mate.
Is that better?
We'll try and work on it technically. It has been very difficult technically here the last few days. A lot of work has been going on behind the scenes amongst the locals to try and get us up and running and on air, so please bear with us, because there's no shortage of effort here in terms of getting things on air. That's no shortage of effort in defence to stop Alex Walmsley, held up on the 40. This is Philbin. His introduction to International Rugby League the other week, that ferocious individual run, and he took on the Kiwis all by himself. Good hands, Connor, looking for a route back down the middle. Here's Hastings, Hodgson, Widdop. They're creating space on that far side this time. Lomax, Boas comes across. Widdop on to Thompson, and Hodgson just hoisting it high, hoping to catch it in the breeze there, but it's an easy take on that far side.
Well, the crowd's gotten quiet here. For our viewers at home, that's important for the Lions, because what it means is this first 20-25 minutes, they've got on top of the Cumul's and taken the crowd out of the equation, which they have to do. And it's been on the back of a little bit more expansion, a little bit more space, to be honest. The ferocity of the Cumul's defence is probably not quite what the Kiwis was last week.
Yeah, that coupled with a nice level of composure as well. You know, nice level.
Hold, mate. Go for.
Taken in again by Meninga. It's a good offload as well, and suddenly there's an opportunity on that left-hand side. Nixon put, but they're on the 6th. Last play. Hoisted high by Boas. Now this is caught in the breeze as well, and Lomax, well, far more difficult than it looked like it was going to be, because it just held in the breeze. The chasers came at him, and Lomax has been smashed here. The aftermath was an offside pickup, but there'll be some concern for Johnny Lomax.
Hodgson's trying to plead the case for the tackle in the air business. He ain't going to get that. The crowd goes up. Here we go. Let's have a look. Well, has he played the man before the ball? I suppose that'd be the question, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that may have come off PNG.
Well, he's looking a little shaky. Guinea's point of view, because they can really apply some pressure.
Well, surely they'll have to play on.
Yeah, certainly looked like a possible knock-on from PNG, rather than a little bit fortunate to get the ball back here.
So the Teproy start from Pape, and here comes the bombardment from the Cumul's. 5 tackles for Great Britain to survive. 10-0 they lead at the moment, but Papua New Guinean hopes are high. It's with Russell inside the 10 metres. Ipape moving in and getting close. At dummy half, it's Russell. Britain back on their line. Russell comes out, spins it away to Labour. It's with Boas. And there's a real effort from Olam. Justin Olam comes firing in. He takes some stopping. Ipape will have a go himself, but there's just a curtain of Great Britain defenders to hold him up and drag him back into the in goal, and it will be a last tackle. Play the ball on the 10-metre line here. Ipape. It's with Labour, who threads it into that in goal area. There's danger, but Hastings.
Brilliant finish from PNG. Brilliant finish. It's the first time I've had the ball down here. You have to say right throughout this tour, they haven't lacked effort in their defensive efforts, the Lions, and I've had to show that again there. Jackson Hastings sneaking behind them and knocking the ball back. Had to do that. 6 more plays in this warm weather.
That's a tough school, a really tough school there to off a slow play the ball to put it in the in goal. Great work there from the 5'8".
Let's go, fellas. Let's go, Josh.
So the drop out from underneath the sticks here. Look at those expectant faces.
You're lucky on this one, eh? Stay back.
Great Britain take their time.
Let's go.
Widdop with a drop.
It's a great drop.
Amian with a catch, and he fancies a go himself here. Stiger, Amian, watch this for the big collision.
Hey.
Hudson got there first.
Route 1.
Joe and Josh, stand up! Wait!
It's wonderful how this crowd reacts to things that happen on the field. We saw in that first game, the women's game, when Great Britain had or rather England's women had a kick to tie things up, and they were booing the kicker.
Hold! Wait, mate.
Tara Jones, but as soon as she put it over, they all started clapping very politely.
John, get up! Okay, back and hold.
Here's Ipape. White, it comes to Albert. Stanton Albert from the Hunter Mariners, who's held up just about 5 away. Ipape stands and waits again. Comes left. A halt for Boas before he can flick it on again. It's kept alive. Watson Boas on that left-hand side. And a dive for Gebe.
Did he get in, Gebe?
Etienne Gebe thinks he's scored. I think there are about 15,000 in here who tend to agree. The referee says no try, but he's going for the video replay.
Video ref to director, there, Bill. You want to just check the grounding and the touch and goal on, mate.
So the grounding and the touch and goal, I'm not sure if you can hear the video referee here.
They're the ones you want to check.
So watch your feet, you watch your feet, mate. Watch your feet, so he's in.
Good check.
The ball, still in.
The shoulder charge, Kevin?
Still in. Nah.
Okay.
They don't, feet.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back. Go down
You'd
again.
have to give that,
Just
surely.
put it down,
Just on effort low.
slow, that's it.
It's whether it's touching the line or not, isn't it?
That one's no good. That's not going to show. So go back to the other one, mate, please.
It's not the clearest shot we've got here, unfortunately.
Can we get something from the far corner? The camera angle from the far corner from behind.
It's not going to help that the video referee, the referee on the field has said
Watch your
no
feet.
try.
He's in the air. In the air.
Yeah.
Now, no,
The more you see it, the more you think he might have dropped it.
Yeah, I think he might have dropped it, but I think there's some question marks whether
he's the ball on the line for me.
Yeah, ball's on the line. I think that's a fair call.
Line, touch and goal. Plus, yeah, he's in the air. Ground the ball on the line, so we're going to go touch and goal. Yep. Okay, we got no try, Grant.
Okay, mate, 20.
Right, going to the board from no try.
So here we go.
20-metre restart, Kev.
No try. If you got that from the video referee, no try.
Oh, here we go.
So a big disappointment. I think disappointment from us because we rather fancied that.
Yeah,
Wait for the kick. Wait for the
it's hard to
kick.
call against it, isn't it?
Wait for
We'll
it.
clearly see it's
Go.
on the line, but
Coming.
a bit of offload. A bit of expansive stuff from the Cummels, and they were in at the corner but didn't ground the ball properly.
It's Whitehead.
Get out together!
Hodgson
Oh, wait!
stands at
Go
dummy
on.
half. McGilvray with a carry. McGilvray up towards the halfway line. Hodgson's calling the odds here from that acting half position. It's with Hastings, who goes flat to Thompson. Now Bateman. They're wrapped around him quickly. 8.5 minutes of the first half remaining. There's 2 tries for Great Britain, the difference at the moment, and the conversion from Widdop. Here's Wormsley. Couple of tackles, in fact just a one tackle to go here I think, although the referee's not signalled. It comes left to Widdop. It's with Lomax. Lomax tries to put the footwork on and pierce the armour of that New Guinean defence. It's with Connor. Hodgson.
Still
Last
left.
play here. Hastings. Step by Bateman. McGilvray. That's a lovely threaded kick from Jerry McGilvray. It bounced off the shoulder of Johnston, but he gathers it in at the second attempt.
Well, it's a whole lot better. They're getting ruck speed and they're finishing the sets in the right part of the field as well.
Well, getting the ruck speed means the edges can't put pressure on them with their defensive line. They have to hold and be passive, and that's why Lomax and Co are getting a little bit more space on the fringes.
The difficulties here for Papua New Guinea as they try to bring it away.
Release. Go 3.
Yeah, forced error from the Lions. Joe Philbin in on the action.
So head and feed for Great Britain.
Lions feed.
It's been a good first 30 minutes from the Lions. They've played, expansive, but at the same time been nice and conservative and built some pressure on this Kummels team. So fingers crossed they get some more points on the board in the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's what they'll be looking to do. Absolutely.
Let's come together.
Look far more composed and fluid.
We're right, fellas. Let's go.
Talked before the game about having water breaks at various stages of the game, but I think that's been ruled out because of the cooling breeze that we have now. Still draining the energy, and oh, that's a mistake for Lomax. The best of deliveries to him. He had to reach for that, but
Well, it's like a Harbour Bridge, wasn't it? Wasn't the best to pass from the back of the scrum.
It's not been.
It was a bit of a let-off. Done all the things right, got to the right parts of the field. Kick reads, finished sets where they wanted to do to give their defence the opportunity to create an opportunity offensively, and then blow it.
Here's Kyle Labert. Townsville Blackhawks, the Q Cup team. And Oram, again, he runs with a mission in mind, doesn't he? Just every time he gets the ball.
Doesn't he, though?
A cannonball. Rolling at the walls of the British defence. Pape out of dummy half. This time it's Gary Lowe who will be a recognisable figure amongst British fans. His time at Castleford and Sheffield. He's now back over here playing with the PNG Hunters. And Gebbie, well, if he gets a bit of room to run, there's danger, but they managed to just stop him in his tracks just in time. But Papua New Guinea are making progress here, albeit on the sixth tackle. That's a lovely little flick pass, and it's almost a sensational finish from Ipape.
Well, that was an outstanding set from PNG. They targeted the ruck, they just ran out of dummy half. Then they had the inside play just at the end with a kick on it. And I couldn't see which Lion actually batted the ball out of the end.
I think it's Gareth Widdop, he's injured himself and he was here the replay. Great little touch there. Widdop's chasing the ball back, bats it back, and he's just looks like the chase has landed right on his ribs. He's in some kind of distress behind the dead ball line.
Well, the whole set was centred around the ruck. We had 5 players. They put the wingers in there, clearly thinking that the big Lions were going to tire towards the back end in this heat, and they're certainly going to rest now.
Well, the locals are sensing something now, aren't they? The level of excitement just turned up a notch or two. Down at the touchline, we can see George Williams is warming up as well. Sure that he'll be absolutely desperate to get out on the field. And although James Graham is not coming back on the field because of the failing of that head test, he is down there on the sidelines. So he looks to be okay, albeit not fit to return. Austin with a drop. Catch is by Johnson. Here comes a bullet from the good again, and Gary Lowe this time.
You keep thinking somebody's going to sidestep or put a pass on, but it's just not. No, just hit the line.
That was right to put. Nixon put. Little push helps him gain another couple of yards. Storm building here, dressed in the jerseys of the Papua New Guinean Stars. It's taken on by Mead. Amian inside for Labert. Labert with a step, but he's going no further. Couldn't offload either. So there's a play that comes to an end in a fizzle. Now it's with Mead. They're about 10 away, just over. It's Meninga, Moses Meninga, right in front of the sticks when he's held up, but it's on tackle 5. So what do they do here? Ipape delivers right. Labert with a kick that deflects and ricochets and eventually ends up in the safe hands of Elliot Whitehead for Great Britain.
Well, you have to say right throughout the tour that the Lions, when they've had to, have defended really well. It's only been exceptional play on, say, the back of the Tongans or the Kiwis that's exposed them. They put the effort in this part of the field, the Lions.
Hughes. In again, unfamiliar number 3 jersey on his back, of course. Second international appearance for him, but Gilvray now right down the middle, right down the throat of it. He was disappointed by that missed opportunity in the first test against the Kiwis. Lomax slithering an extra yard or so. Whitehead. Hastings. Watson Boas was right on his tail, but Hastings gets a huge kick away. It is pouched wonderfully well by Johnston, who was immediately looking for the fringes where Gebby is lurking. If he can get Gebby away, but he can't, it's McGilvray who wins the little tussle and drags the full-back down.
Good speed from Johnson.
Hammered in by Putz. They're just gathering in terms of momentum and muscularity at the moment, the Papua New Guineans. They're just feeling that this is a part of the game, a moment in the match when they might just have Great Britain on their back foot. Labert again. There's Mead crossing back and looking to slither through. Ipape. Albert, Stanton Albert. There's a certain stoutness about that, but he left the ball behind. Great Britain get an easy job of getting the ball back again.
He has been creating some ruck speed for the PNG, and they look dangerous when they probe midfield in and around the ruck. They get on the front and then they go at the line, and they just, it's a shame that they dropped the ball there because they were looking dangerous.
There's no substitute in our game for running hard, and that's what PNG have done this last couple of sets. They've got in some good field position. They've just run really, really hard. So they need a little bit of polish on the back of that, some little bit better execution of some of their plays, but they're not having any trouble making meters.
So welcome time out here. The Great Britain players. You can see that sheen of sweat on all of them, can't you? In this heat, or this humidity anyway.
Thanks, boys. Head in. Head in. Time on. Hold. Out.
So time ticking down in this first half. Just under 3 minutes left to play. Those 2 tries still in the locker from Great Britain's point of view. Leading by 10 points to 0 as they do. This is Austin, who's right over on the other side of the field looking for a bit of work to do. Too much work going on in defence. Penalty for Great Britain.
Well, the Cummels be important from this. Is a big defensive set for the PNG. We're going to get a bit of field position here. The Lions regrouping. They've had a shaky fight. No, it's not shaky, but PNG have had a say in this game the last 10 minutes, and it's important that the Lions could get a score here. It'll take the game away from our field.
If you're a PNG fan or on the coaching staff, I don't think you'd be overly disappointed being 10 points behind. They've had their moments. They haven't converted into any points, but you're right. This set's so important for both teams.
Here's Walmsley.
Okay, move now. Thanks, Gary.
No Hodgson. Philbin. New lack of energy from him. And a good quick play to ball 2. Hodgson's up at dummy half, and Hastings back on the inside for Thompson, who's still got that rib injury, by the way. Luke Thompson, I don't think it's thoroughly healed. The cartilage popping out a couple of weeks ago. He's managing the pain at the moment. This is Bateman, who's smashed. Absolutely smashed.
That's a technical term for smashed.
Walmsley takes it on. Twisted down. Last play, 20 metres away. Hastings was looking for touch, hammering it that way. And Papua New Guinea will get the ball back.
Well, that's a surprise. That's a kick for touch. It must be hot they were thinking down there, because blowing, and you'd think they'd put a kick up with a bit of competition, surely.
Yeah, I would have thought maybe a little short chip into the corner, possibly make a little bit of a contest, kicking it into over the side with only a minute left on the clock. Yeah, must be pretty tough conditions out there.
If you join the scrum, you can't. The time will go back on.
Well, the time has stopped. 23 seconds on our clock, 38 seconds on the stadium clock. So I'm not quite sure when the hooter will sound, but suffice to say, this is in all likelihood going to be the last set of this first half. And it'll be played out in part, certainly inside the Papua New Guinean half, unless they can do something miraculous here. Olam is down.
He's been good, Olam, hasn't he?
Yeah, they're not spreading quickly here, the Papua New Guineans, are they? Which suggests they're struggling a little in the conditions as well. They're rather bunched there, as you can see. It's looking to take the game to half-time.
Well, I think the Cummels have had a lot of success in and around the ruck when they've managed to find some speed. I don't think. Here we go.
Oh, this is good.
Saying.
Out of dummy half.
Oh, wow!
Fantastic from Apape. Edwin Apape showing a clean pair of heels and bringing this stadium onto its feet. What a sensational play that was. Great Britain switched off with time running out. And Papua New Guinea with a venomous strike, and it's Edwin Apape who's the man of the moment.
Apape, what a run out of acting half. Just made it look so simple. So fast out of acting half. And you mentioned, Brian, a couple of times about the ruck speed that they've created, and that's the result. After you create ruck speed, you give an opportunity for your faster players to get in and around that space and go at the big man, and he took a great advantage.
Here we go, he's gone. Went straight past Alec Wormley, was at second marker, probably didn't do his job. Boy, he's firing up the middle in Pape, and that's been all their success, that's been all their glory, that's been anything that New Guineans have created, Papua New Guinean have created, has been in and around here. They're small, fast men. Just killed it there, didn't they? Lomax, no chance. Well, game on now.
Well, he plays his rugby league with Wynnum Manly, doesn't he? Edwin Apape. Suspect he keeps doing that every week. He'd be on the list of a few NRL clubs. There's a kick from Labour, which brings the score to 10 points to 6 in Great Britain's favour at half-time. What a lift that is. The hooter has sounded, so that will be the last act of that first half. This stadium has just been set alight by that wonderful conclusion from a Papua New Guinean point of view, and we're going to get the reaction from some of those down on the field as well.